Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. A brand new day in which it's pretty cold outside. Very chilly. But it's going to warm up. Right now, it's about high 20s. And then it's going to get into the high 30s, low 40s. And then it's going to drop into the mid 20s again tonight. Thank goodness it finally became winter. It took till February for the temperatures to drop below freezing. But it's been pretty cool because while walking to like Walmart, or I've gotten to the point where I walk around in a big circle again. I'm not quite sure how well I can do about that because it's been kind of tough walking around in my apartment this morning with my boots, because that bad spot on my toe is already rubbing up against my boot and it hurts, and I'm already wearing the really low things for my heels, so I don't know what I'm going to do on that front. Anyway, though, it's cold. I'm very glad. Thumbs up for that. Yay. I am a mammal. I was going to say I am a million, which, it's why not just say I am a mammal. I do like heat, but my body does not do well in heat, especially if sleeping. My legs will cramp if I'm even partly warm. But I don't think well. I don't do well physically. Get me cold, and while I'm uncomfortable and hate it, I function great. I am moving, I'm doing stuff, I'm thinking. And as much as I don't like being cold, when I was walking back last night, and it was very cold, my head was very cold, my hands were freezing, and I had a big stupid grin on my face because I was uncomfortable and cold. It's like I make fun of myself when I'm out walking on the back trails to come back here. No, it's like I imagine someone saying to me, "Why are you doing this?" It's a rough surface. You can't really see. There's just grass and dirt. It's dark. It's not really safe in many cases because you can't see. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm already sold on the idea. Are there any cons about the thing? All these, I enjoy it because it's not walking on well-lit sidewalks and such. It's fun to walk on areas that a lot more people don't, and on gravel roads that a lot of people do walk on the trails that I go on. They're not abandoned. They're used all the time, but it's not everyone that uses them. So when I'm walking on the trail, there's still traffic, and then there's a school here, and the power lines are up above me, but it's a dirt road. And very rarely do I walk past people, even during the summertime, that are on the same path. It's used all the time by people like me, but it's not in constant use by everyone because there's no sidewalk, it's not comfortable, So, hey, all the things that make life worth living. Thumbs up for that. Anyway, though, I do not have a whole lot written down on the list. One thing, though, that I did write down because I wanted to talk about this. I have mentioned before that I don't like the boomer mentality. And when I see older people with this look on their face, it's the first thing is like, boomer. I'm not going to like any interaction with this person. But this one person that does political videos for TikTok, but then also posts them here on YouTube because TikTok is altered and is going away in a couple of months. She was mentioning that she goes to a lot of activist stuff. And overwhelmingly, the largest group of people there to help out and do the boots on the ground work are boomer age people. And that there's a different term for boomer aged people that aren't boomers, and that's bloomer. You got older and your head opened up. So yeah, she was talking about how, and all of these activist things, you've got 80% of the crowd there was older people. Big advantage, older folks that are socially progressive is just like the negative people. Time. You got time. So yeah, there's a lot of older folk that aren't the boomers that show up and do stuff. So I was glad to hear about bloomers because I'm of boomer age, but I was raised Gen X, so I would be a bloomer, I guess. I'm willing to cop to the title of bloomer. I do not accept the title of boomer. That is a mindset. Ugh. Which I have tried my best to change the way my face looks when I'm out walking, especially when I'm in places like Walmart, because I have a powerful resting bitch face. And because am triggered by big, bright overhead lights in enclosed areas like Walmart, I have to keep my head down and my eyebrows down to block off a lot of that vision and that light. But what do I look like when I'm doing this? I look like a boomer. A grumpy boomer who's just waiting to lash at someone, to my eye. And I don't want to look like that. That's not the way I feel. Even when I'm in a bad mood, that's not the way I feel. I don't want to lash out at anybody. I just don't want my mood to get worse. I don't want to hurt people. I don't like hurting people's feelings. I used to use sarcasm as a sword when I was younger, and I could reduce people to tears. I don't ever want to do anything like that again. Ever. So I try to never even hurt people's feelings. So thumbs up on that. What else do I have up here? Just talking about the last thing that's big on there, that great import to my life and all this is I have been eating, I mentioned, because I need to lose weight, and I've been feeling the claws of my particular issue digging in hard periodically. Like when I want to have healthy eating habits and healthy thoughts, I get those claws that dig in and tell me to nope, 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 nope. So I'm struggling, but I've been eating, but as mentioned, I always slam from one extreme to the other, banging off the sides of the air vent as I fall through life. So I've gone from banging onto this side to once again banging over onto this side. Thumbs up. I just burped while I was going thumbs up. Yay for losing control of your physical body. At least I'm still continent. Oh my gosh, so many people I know of, I don't know personally, that have issues with such like that. I'm glad I do not. Oh, and then of course, the one video I did that still I don't think has broken even like 80 views was when I was talking about and said, hey, the plastic spoon in our brains this is the plastic spoon. Look at this. There is this broken down into microplastics and scattered throughout my brain. No matter how good of care I take care of myself, this is a risk I can do nothing about. I could take perfect care of myself, have no other risk factors, and die of a stroke because of the plastic spoon in my head. But it's not just in our heads. How many plastic spoons are in like our hearts and our livers, our kidneys, our intestines? Is there a full pound of plastic in our bodies? I keep seeing and reading all of these articles about, what we're going to have happen in the future. And they're talking about the trends of what's happening right now, but tech-wise and social-wise and all this about 20, 30 years from now. Australia, the entirety of Australia has been on fire before. Parts of Los Angeles just burned down. Just on climate change alone and fires, I'm not sure there's going to be a future. When your infrastructure burns down, there's nothing to hang civilization on. So, just on that front. And then on this, if you think this is going to slow down, or you think it's healthy to have this much plastic inside your brain, this has been an exponential increase. In 20 years, it's gone from like a credit card to a full spoon. What's it going to be in another 20 years? I don't know that we're going to be able to survive this. But life is life. There's not anything you can do about it. Literally, there's nothing you can do about it. This is a risk you have no control over. And freaking out about it, of course, isn't going to help. It's like in the game Portal 2, when the big boss of Cave Johnson is telling people that, via pre-recorded message, but back in when it was being done, can you imagine being the person hearing that the coffee that you've been drinking has been laced with a chemical so that they can study your body while you're doing the tests, but there is a risk that the chemical will suddenly vitrify and calcify your entire brain. But really, he means don't worry about it, because thinking about it triggers the process. So don't freak out about the plastic spoon that's inside of your brain right now. And don't freak out about the fact that it isn't going to be too much longer before there's 2 of these in your head. And then how well is your brain going to function? But don't freak out about it, because there's nothing you can do. So thumbs up on that. But the last thing I kind of want to do is I talked about the kaiju and such yesterday, and I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the kaiju and its power and such, because I'm fascinated by the setting that I've made. I think there is just an incredible amount of potential, and I wish I had been dealt a different set of cards in life that I could do more with this setting and stuff than I am able to. As I've mentioned, in the 5-card poker game of life, I have been dealt a 2 of cards, 2 of hearts, 7 of clubs, 2 cards from Gin Rum, and the instruction card from Old Maid. You can't make a winning hand out of that. I've been able to make enough cards that I've survived, and I will keep surviving and doing what I can to survive as long as possible. But with those 5 cards, there's no winning hand at life. Survival is fine, though, and that's good. But with all the creative stuff that I'm doing, I want to keep talking about it so I remember and don't forget. As well as hopefully entertain everybody else out there as well. I like hearing about my kaiju as much as it is a horrific, vile beast of greater intelligence than like the entire planet all mixed together, combined, and made so much more. It's still a horrific monster that does not have to act the way it does, but does purely out of spite and hate. So yay on that. But yes, it is a being that Every razor's edge is made up of layers and micro layers. And layers are like, if you want to go from where you are right now to a fantasy land with knights and horses, if you had been there and, for really quick access, it would take you, let's say it took 20 minutes to walk there. In 20 minutes, you would walk through micro layers of enough changes that you would reach this land of knights and horses and fantasy. No magic, the equivalent replacement, but no magic, just by walking. And each step you take brings you through micro layers of change. So you may think, okay, there's like 10 layers between here and here. But between each of those layers, there's 10 little micro layers. And of course, between each of those, there are 10 micro layers. And between each of it, always another decimal point you can drop back. There's always more micro layers with micro changes that you can go through and into. And the thing is, the kaiju, with its heightened everything, is smashed down and just diminished from what it was in the universe that it lived in before all this happened to it. It can look upon the razor's edge and see it with clarity and vision enough that it seems like a two-dimensional flat map. Nothing is lost. It can comprehend. Now, it cannot comprehend the whole picture, but its field of focus, where it focuses that and move it around on that huge map, everything within that is completely laid out perfectly. It can understand and screw around with everyone there should it choose to. And then it has to move. Can't comprehend it all. It is not a god. I call it a dark and malevolent, chained and fallen god of death and destruction. But that's only as in metaphor, because while it is extremely powerful, it does not have the power to create life. It can destroy, it can maintain, and part of those maintain and destroy can alter, but it cannot create things that will live. It is not a god. But it has power and abilities. Now again, everything is relative. Within the razor's edge that it is trapped within, it could walk out to the outside. It could go to the inside. Either place, it would then have an end to a lifespan. It would be tens of millions of years out here before it died from lack of the energies that it needs. It would be hundreds of millions of years on the inside for the same reason, lack of the trace elements that it would need to survive. But within the razor's edge, it has no time limit. And should it step to the inside, there are any number of creatures out there, beings, with enough power, strength, and ability that they could stomp on the kaiju and just crush it like a bug. But within the Apple Rock razor's edge, should any of those powerful beings be foolish enough to make the mistake of stepping into the razor's edge with any intent of doing harm to the kaiju, its power is uncontestable on the razor's edge. It would knock down and then hold down, and then as that being screamed in terror and agony, would devour them, bite by painful, horrific bite. It would eat them alive, and there would be nothing that they could do to even slow it down. Now, usually the kaiju has exactly zero interest on the outside and the inside. even less for out here. I mean, there's nothing out here that it wants. So even though it is only 1,500 kilometers from Brookerton, South Carolina, though it's in a different universe, it has no interest on coming out here. And again, no interest on going to the inside, because it is a, again, metaphorical god upon its Olympus, staring down upon its domain. But that doesn't mean it's not going to screw around with things. It had plans for its destruction of Apple Rock, the city, that took over 125 years to come to fruition. Why? Because it had time, and a lot of people were going to get hurt and die. And since it hates and it needs something to entertain itself, it did it. Put things in motion. I can't remember where I was going with all of this because of ADHD brain. So I'm going to leave this with, it is a hateful, hateful thing. But of course, I'm the one that designed it to be this way, so I love it like my own child, as horrific and nightmarish as it is, since after all, over 300 billion times in its over 1 trillion year lifespan, it has devoured the entire human race into extinction 300 billion times. It gets satisfaction out of being able to eat the last of us, even though it needs us, and we will be back. Call to action time. Hey, if you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that would be very awesome. Making sure to share, of course, only with people that you think would like watching an old man yammer on in an incomprehensible fashion about largely inane subjects, which are largely inane because of the incomprehensible fashion in which they are delivered. But thumbs up for that. And don't forget, I may be boring and awful, but I also do gaming content. And of course, if you're a Patreon patron, thumbs up and thank you. It is greatly appreciated. You help me eat at the end of the month, each and every month, and I appreciate that to no end. Even though I need to eat less, I still need to eat, and I do appreciate the help. Thumbs up and thank you. If you've left me a comment, that too is appreciated. While it's not a huge step out of your way, it does take time to do so. It is a small stepping stone in your path. I appreciate the fact that you have done so. You too are a beautiful and awesome person in your own way. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up and heart every comment that YouTube allows me to. It's not always easy to get my hands twisted and up, not twisted, but put into the right position. So I have to watch myself, and it takes time. Yay. And I answer as many comments as my nerve compression will allow, which isn't as many as I would like, but at least it's better than none. So, excuse me. I'm going to edit, render, upload, and then I'm going to do what I have to do. I made an appointment with my cardiologist yesterday. It's for next Wednesday. So my video is going to be either late or early because it's at 10:20. So thumbs up on that. And I'm good. There is another call somewhere. I have to do something. I can't remember why. But hopefully I'll remember at some point. I got some bills to pay, so I need to do that. But other than that, yeah, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to continue playing computer games. I've got a boxed board game, solo. Well, can be played solo, can be played with up to 4 people. It's Horrified Greek Monsters. I got that I don't know how long ago. But like a lot of them, I've only just opened it up and played with it and read the instructions and stuff. I'd like to actually play it. So hopefully I'm going to get that done. Hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done. And if not, please do not beat yourself up. It's not going to help you get it done better next time. And you deserve better, quite frankly. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing. And even though I have meant all of January and now halfway through February to start up reactions again, I had gone through I did a full reaction to Beast in Black, Midnight Rendezvous, but everything got screwed up, and so my first time trying to get back to it after years, and of course technical issues, kicked me in the crotch. That hasn't helped me get back to it. So they are coming back soon. I promise you. It's just my mood, my energy. But you take care. Now to reach down here to my color changing mouse. Isn't that silly? And then I'll click on this button and actually stop recording instead of not. You take care.